Live stream. We've got a lot to talk about today. We've got a lot. Hope everybody's doing well, waiting for the feed to come through. And then we're going to talk about some very important subjects we have going on right now. All right, guys, here's what's happening. We're getting news, right? We're getting fed claims. Hold on, pull up the chat. Okay, we're getting new analysts saying that gold and silver price may very well crash. Huh? What? We need to talk about that, right? Is it possible? Is it probable that the price of gold and silver will crash? George Gammon, the rebel capitalist, right? He's a really popular analyst, YouTube celebrity, very smart guy. He has all these charts that show that, last time we had a problem in the economy, the price of gold and silver went down. You know, there's this common theme that I tend to hear over and over, that the market's going to crash and gold and silver are going to go down. My experience in life, I want to hear what you have to say. And let me know, guys, please, if you can hear me. Good morning. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Why do I feel like I can't be heard? Anyway, common theme. Gold and silver. When the market goes down, gold and silver are going to crash. Gold and silver, everybody's waiting for it. Everybody, it seems like. And look, I'm 53 years old. I've been around long enough. Sometimes situations like this, especially market situations, when everybody is like on that side of the boat, doesn't it always seem to not happen? Think about us. We're gold and silver investors. We're on the other side of the boat when it comes to where we put a lot of our investment capital. We're into gold and silver. And we're not with the crowd. Well, there's also a big crowd we have to recognize that says, gold and silver, next time something happens in the market. Well, there's a couple things that I think we need to consider that really are different this time. And I want your thoughts on this. Number one, we have more debt now really than any other time in history. The world, the United States, consumers, credit card debt, mortgage debt, car debt, the world, sovereign debt. We have more debt in the world than any other time in history. That does make things quite different, okay? Because the system is so much more sensitive, very sensitive, right? The system's very sensitive. And that means that even like the interest rate hikes that went on last year, they didn't have to go so high because the level of the debt was so high. So it made it much more sensitive to the interest rate hikes. The other big thing is geopolitically. We know, right, the world is changing like never before. And it's a conceptual thing, but it's a real thing as well. As we put together all these pieces that are going on, everybody says, look what happened during the financial crisis. Look what happened when the dot-com bubble burst. Look what happened to gold, the price of gold and silver. Well, guys, that doesn't mean that it has to happen again this time. So how's everybody doing today? Let me run through here. I saw somebody from Belgium. Hey, Luke, good to see you, buddy. I might be in Paris this summer. I don't think that's too far from you. And hello, Rick. Hello, Daniel. Somebody said bye-bye. Bye-bye. Rick. Hey, Adrian. Good to see you. Is Nick the ice pick? Yes. Hey, Nick. If you guys have any questions, please put them in all caps, or if there's anything in particular that you, and by the way, thank you for joining me today, right? We are a group right now. There's 90 of us and growing right now that are here to talk about silver and gold, precious metals, platinum, palladium, the mining, the whole sector, right? And the idea behind what we're doing. And we're going to have some little update on what's going on with some of the states right now, as more and more states are moving to make silver and gold legal tender, eliminating sales tax. We're going to touch on that. But I want to say hi to some of you guys. Adrian D. Fristo. Any questions? All caps. Corpus Christi. Hello, low blood pressure. Always good to see you. Yeah, this morning was, boy, gold and silver. I know silver was getting a little bit of a beating, and then it came back, and then it looks like it's getting a little bit more of a beating again. The gold price this morning, I woke up, it was down like 10, 12 bucks, and then I looked again 15 minutes later, it was actually up like $3, and now it's back down again. I will say this, I can still say this with confidence, although today's been a little bit of a rough day for silver, both the metals have been very resilient, like I haven't seen for a long, long time. Now, if gold drops down to 1903 and silver gets down to 21, I won't be saying they're resilient, but for right now, the price of gold and the price of silver have been very resilient. Do you feel, am I alone in that? Do you feel like the last 3 or 4 weeks that you've noticed something different with the silver and gold price? Not that they're going up, because they haven't really gone up all that much in the last couple weeks, maybe even gone down a smidge, but are you sensing resiliency? Yes or no? Please leave that in the comment section. Am I crazy? Am I dreaming? Am I just a permabull? Or are we really seeing resilience in the price of the precious metals? Nick the Ice Pick, my local coin shop has 90% only zero. Getting very difficult, guys, to find constitutional junk. What's the other word? 90% silver. Very difficult. I called my local coin shop to see if they had any 40%. What is it? 1965 to 1969 half dollars. Nope. And they always have inventory. They said, call back in 3 weeks. 3 weeks, you know. So it just seems like, especially on that constitutional silver, we are seeing somewhat of a shortage. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. Questions? Yes. I got a yes. I got a yes. I got a yes. In terms of, are we sensing some resiliency? You know, I think, look, we had a great run up in the price of gold and the price of silver. We're in kind of a consolidation phase right now. We need it to hold. Let's go. Let's go, gold. Let's go. Let's go. Low blood pressure does not like the 40%. Now, I kind of do like the 40%, and that's okay. We don't have to agree on everything. I like the fact that the 40% half dollars are 40% silver, and if I've got this correct, 60% copper. So I feel like I'm a little bit of a copper stacker as well when I get them. What do you think of the possibility of another refining crisis? Are you referring to silver and gold refining? You know, I think if the demand, the physical demand for the metals continues at the pace that it's at, we could see more of a crisis in terms of the refiners being able to supply the market. And we haven't even really seen real demand yet for the precious metals. So hold on, man. I know today's a little bit of a, you know, one of those days. Trust me, my mining stock portfolio, I accidentally looked at it. Not good today, not good. But things will get better. We know the underlying thesis as to what's going on. Why does 40 stink? Yeah, Jamie wants to know. Accumulate now. Dan Max. Resilient. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, thanks, Dan. Yeah, it feels resilient. Like I said, you know, if it could change, right? We could, what's today? Tuesday? By Friday, I could say, well, it wasn't resilient. But you know what? By Friday, the price of gold could be over $2,000 and silver could be at $26. We can look at the optimistic side of the coin as well. All right. Well, thank you, low blood pressure. I know Coin Shop Chris, thank you, by the way, to Coin Shop Chris for being here to help moderate. A great friend of the channel. D. Fristo, do you think CBDC is going to affect the price of gold and silver in a negative way? No, I think it's going to affect the price of gold and silver in a positive way. And the reason I say that is people will be looking for privacy still. Think about it. If they eliminate paper money, they eliminate the, coins, we can't use pay, what are people going to have left for privacy? They're going to have Bitcoin, but is Bitcoin really private? And that's a digital currency. If people are looking to get something outside of the digital realm, number one, Bitcoin's digital. Number two, it's really not that private, right? It's been proven they can track down. I mean, so the only option for privacy will be physical silver or gold. And I think that would drive demand from an individual perspective for physical silver and physical gold much, much higher. I could be wrong. Trust me, I'm wrong all the time. I also don't think that the price of gold and silver are going to crash, if we have another big crisis, another big market crash. I could be wrong on that. But when everybody in a market is thinking something's going to happen, it's been my experience that usually it doesn't happen. So I am an eternal optimist for us gold and silver investors. Nick the Ice Pick just ordered 5 GSM rounds. That's awesome, buddy. 40% will come into play. Chris P, blame me for the first mining being down. That's okay, Blaine. Everything's down. All the mining stocks. I accidentally looked at my mining stock portfolio before I came on. It popped up on my phone screen. I was like, ugh, I don't like that big red number. But this is a long-term deal. Okay, original intent. Junk still at 30 at face for $1 face value at APMEX, and $30 junk silver works out to like $40 per ounce is what people are paying. It's crazy. Silver may go down to $8 an ounce. Bo, you're certainly entitled to your opinion, and you may be right, but I don't personally see. I think if silver gets to $8 an ounce, we're going to have some just really, people talk about, oh, you don't want a world where we have $200 silver. Well, I don't think we want a world where we have $8 silver either. That would be pretty horrific circumstances to even contemplate at this point silver going back to $8 an ounce. And silver, these Silver Institute numbers that came out, the updated numbers, the demand for silver is still super robust. We didn't, 2022 was a record year, a record deficit, meaning there was like 250 million more ounces of silver needed and demanded than were provided by the mining companies and through recycling efforts. So the demand is much bigger than the supply last year. And you know what? In the USA, demand for silver from an investor perspective was actually I think it was up like 0.06%, like nothing. It was flat. Imagine what would happen if here in the United States of America, right? Just a few more people, not everybody on this live stream's in the USA, but a lot of you are. And what will happen when we have just a few more people in the USA that wake up? There's no silver. There's limited supplies. The supplies are constrained right now for silver here in the United States, and I believe gold as well. What's going to happen if CBDCs come out and people are like, oh my God, my only option to have any privacy is precious metals. There's going to be nothing, nada. It's not going to, there's almost nada. What I'm saying, there's almost nada right now, right? And it's just us, right? The smart ones, the people that are ahead of the curve, right? Check your head. Do you feel any sand on it? No, you don't have your head buried in the sand, right? You know what's going on. But we're only like 1 in 200 people, 1 in 300 people. The beauty of that is people say, oh, well, nobody cares about silver and gold. That's great. That's awesome, because that means it's a lot easier when we go from 1 in 300 people to 9 in 300 people. That's like a 3-time amount of money coming into the precious metal sector. I digress. James says it's difficult to see gold going below production cost. Yeah, it's difficult to see gold with just the geopolitical situation, all the debt in the world. I don't buy. Sorry, I don't buy this statement. And I know a lot of you do, and that's okay. You don't have to agree with me, but I'm challenging you. I'm telling you, I don't buy this idea that, oh, gold and silver have to go down if the market crashes. I think if the market crashes, people are going to be like really scared this time, and that the price of gold and silver could actually just do well. And people say, oh man, I was expecting it to drop and it didn't, and it went up. You know, silver shot up to $35 an ounce. I could be dead wrong. Sometimes I am, and that's just my opinion. The red shirt, it's my security blanket. There's the red shirt. You know, that shirt's like 35 years old. So I'm giving it a little break. I also have the Unicorn Fart Dust t-shirt over there that one of our great viewers gave to me. I love the red shirt. I love the red shirt too, but Susie gets mad and threatens me, and you know. Somebody said something about Susie, like, does she really exist? Yeah, no, actually, this is my aunt's basement. Yeah, excuse me. If the value of silver went down, cost of industrial production would also go down. And then if the cost of silver was to go down, wouldn't that mean the value of the dollar was up? Yes, generally speaking, Brandon, you're correct. Generally speaking, there's an inverse relationship. Inverse is just a kind of fancy way to say opposite relationship between the dollar and gold and silver. But over the long term, there's no relationship between, when I say long term, hundreds, thousands of years, there's no relationship between the dollar and gold and silver, right? Don't forget, gold and silver are real money, real, right? They've been real money for thousands of years. Real money. Dollars are made up, imaginary, not backed by anything. They're based on confidence. That's it. Okay. And I'm an American. I love my country. I really loved the fact that we were on a gold standard for most of the formative years, the growth years in this country. I don't like the idea that our dollar is not backed by anything real. So I went off on a little tangent there. Tupelo. I've been to Tupelo. That's where Elvis Presley was born. Stopped in Tupelo every year in November for like 10 years. Great little town. We stopped there on the way to, excuse me, Orange Beach, Alabama. Blaine says there's plenty of wonderful ladies out there who love that red shirt. Oh, she'll get a kick out of that one. Hey, Luke, for months I've been hearing that silver stocks are at their lowest level and that demand is very high. The loss beginners don't have much control over the price of gold and silver. About the only thing I think lately at 25 bucks an ounce, most of them have been content to sell it at that level. But the demand for silver from solar, from electronics, from everything is through the roof. Why do wives hate old shirts? That's a good question. Tupelo. They're throttling gold and silver channels on YouTube. That's interesting. You know, somebody asked me that the other day, like, why don't I see your videos pop up anymore? You know, that's bad for my YouTube channel, but maybe what is that telling us if that is indeed the case? That's interesting. Thank you, Shining Bright. Be curious where you heard that. Throttling channels means, from what I understand, guys, is like they don't put my videos on like people's home screens. So like when they go onto YouTube, they don't show my videos as an option. Like people have to search them out. So that's very, very interesting. Uh-oh, I have to cough. I'm getting in trouble for coughing. Excuse me. Okay. Hello. Mathematical probability of silver gold going down. Could mining cost alone have increased? Yeah, right. I mean, that's a good point, numismatic. The cost of production continues to go up. So if the price drops, production will just decrease. There'll be less supply and the price will go up. Hey, I appreciate you guys being here. If you could give this a thumbs up, I sure would appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing that. I put out videos every day about the gold and silver market and provide a safe refuge for us, the gold and silver fans, right? Guys, you, right? There's 161 of you right now, but there's only one you. And, we are part of this small group of people that are super interested in the precious metals, super interested in stretching our minds a little bit and learning about the system and how gold and silver can help protect us. So I'm proud of you for being here, and I'm also proud of you for what you've done to learn about precious metals, because it's a lot easier to sit around and watch, Dancing with the Stars or Survivor on TV or something like that, and you choose to educate yourself. Dan Max says, Ron, this time on the market crashes, people will flock to silver and gold at any price. See, I agree, Dan. We could be wrong. We could be wrong. But they won't be able to get it because their paper money will be worthless. Now, that is the worst case scenario. But even halfway there, Dan, I think it's still going to be a different environment this time. Original intent. 40% silver on APMEX comes out to $26.70 per ounce of pure silver. Crazy low premiums. You might, 40%. That's interesting, Original Intent. Thank you for sharing that. I'll have to check that out. California, gas is only $6 a gallon. Wow, Dan Max. Silver and gold is money, right? Wrong, and people will do anything they can to buy it at any price when the market crashes. Yeah, I think I just read that. Sorry, Dan, but it was worth repeating. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. That was not a repeat. Actually, the big online dealers are holding out for higher prices before making delivery to local coin shop orders. Some are hitting the private mints. Interesting. You better buy silver and gold while you can. Ricky's House of Crap. Silver and gold, Dan Max said, is money. You're correct, Ron. People will do anything at any price to obtain silver and gold when the market crashes, and it will crash before 2024. We don't know for sure, Dan, but I don't like the market crashing, but I like the fact that I hold silver and gold. I don't hold physical gold. I hold some physical silver and a lot of gold mining stocks. During the Depression, 75 ounces of silver would buy you a house. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So today's Tuesday. Do you think next Tuesday, 1 week from today, 7 days, that will put us right before the next Fed meeting? It'll be interesting, right? The next Fed interest rate announcement. Everybody says they're going to raise rates by 0.25%. My question for you is this. 1 week from now, do you think, let's lump gold and silver together, higher than we are now, lower, or I'm going to give you a third option, about the same? I'm going to say same. Same, Daniel says. Thanks, Daniel, for answering. Higher, Chris P, CoinShop Chris, optimist, I like that. First Mining Gold interview follow-up. Yeah, Blaine, Susie is editing. I did an interview with Dan yesterday. We're going to cut it into two separate videos, so keep an eye out for that. And on May 10th, I'm doing an interview with Keith Neumeyer, the chairman of First Mining Gold and the CEO of First Majestic Silver, and Dan as well, where we're going to talk about First Mining Gold. I'll have a link out for that. It's going to be through this company called Six, which is a webinar company. All right, Daryl T. 7,000 ounces of gold missing. Yeah, right. That's right. Any updates on that, I wonder, right? Did they find that gold that got stolen? ISO Chet looks for higher gold and silver. Gonzo higher. Todd Pauly says lower. Depending on your taste, lower next week. Higher. Depends if they dump a bunch of derivatives on the market. Higher. Yeah. See, it's already been priced in, this 25% rate hike by the Fed, and that'll be a week from tomorrow. If they come out with like a 0.5% rate hike, that will be bad. That would surprise. I don't think they can do that. I don't think they will do that, but that would surprise the market. Last week, the cast of clowns, Jerome Powell let out his cast of clowns, right? His Fed governors, the guy here in St. Louis, Boulard, and they all came out with all this hawkish, oh, we got to fight inflation. We got to stop, we're going to have to raise rates higher and higher and higher and blah, 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 right? I mean, those guys are so full of it. I think they're like a drowning man spouting out their last, hopes for trying to control. Inflation's going to keep going up. The economy is going to keep, getting interesting. Let's leave it at that. And we're in a period of stagflation. I haven't said that word for almost a week, but stagflation is the most fertile ground for the gold price and the silver price. Sorry, I'm yelling. At least I'm not coughing and slurping yet. Now, stagflation, right? The best environment. Read about what happened in the 70s and 80s with gold. I think gold went from like $40 an ounce to $800 an ounce during that period. I mean, just phenomenal return. Silver went from like $1.50 to $50 per ounce. I mean, when we talk about $700 silver, people think we're crazy, but that's the equivalent of what happened in the 70s and 80s. But just like we talked about earlier, with everybody saying, oh, the economy is going to crash, the market's going to crash, and gold price and silver price are going to crash, I don't expect the exact same thing to happen this time with stagflation that happened last time. But when I just I don't know how you feel about this. Let me ask you this question. Chris P says, Susie, Ron needs coffee. I got my coffee. Here it is. I'm good, Susie. We don't want to interrupt you. Let me ask you this question. Do you, you're a gold and silver follower. Do you understand the reason why stagflation is good, is a very supportive environment for the silver price and gold price? You can say yes or no, because it can be a little challenging. Like sometimes in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, you know how that goes? Like, oh, it's crystal clear. And then other times I'm like, wait, why stagflation? Because Jerome is in a box right here. Where's my Jerome? This Jerome. If you guys, anybody new here, please make sure you subscribe, because I have a pet Jerome. See? Do not open. Recession, inflation. I think I'm the only person that likes my Jerome box. Nonetheless, they're in a situation, the Fed, right? Next week, coming up. Oh, the economy, if the economy's struggling, right? Oh no, the economy's great. BS. The economy's struggling, right? So that means they need looser monetary policy. They need to lower rates to stimulate the economy. But do we have inflation? Oh, yeah. So if they do that, and they do try to head off a recession by lowering rates, that's going to make the inflation go up. It's like they're on a little teeter-totter that's either going, depending on how you decide to look at it, going up or down. Either way, they're in big trouble. Let's leave it. Let's use a nice word like that. They're in big trouble. I read something last night that there's a credit crunch going on. Car dealerships are losing their they get like financing from Ally Financial and some of these other places to kind of help finance or pay for like all the cars on their lot, and these countries are pulling their companies are pulling their financing, and we've had several big car dealership chains actually shut their doors. So, you know, the credit crunch is real. That, what was it, First Republic announced last night they lost like $100 billion in deposits. They papered over the banking crisis. They had an emergency meeting over that weekend. The Fed and the Treasury, they papered over it, okay? They printed like $200 billion, right? We'll make it okay. Oh, we'll buy all your bad stuff. I mean, that's what I'm saying. They're not going to let everything completely implode. They're going to, you know, turn on the magic printer again. And when the market wakes up to it, the price of gold and silver are going to do very well. All right, guys. Darn it. No Jerome, please. Yes. Bingo, Better Doll Beaver says, yes, he understands stagflation. When you see the paper, silver, gold burn up, when do you see the paper, silver, and paper gold burn up? Eventually, the physical market will overtake the unicorn fart dust paper digital markets. Alistair McLeod did an interview, I think, with King World News a couple days ago. You might want to listen to it, where he said, like, the LBMA and the COMEX, what they're seeing is big players, and they want the metal. They buy the futures contract, whatever, and they're like, oh, no, I don't want to settle in cash. I want the metal. And that's what he says has been the reason why we've seen this resiliency in the gold and silver price. Pretty good interview. You might want to check it out. Stagflation is good because it's a word from the 70s. Okay, that's funny. Jeromey's back is against the wall. Thomas Larson says, James, tax receipts. Yeah, thank you, James, for bringing that up. That's awesome. I read something about the tax receipt info that came out on Friday, but I didn't get the details. Apparently, the tax receipts were down. Now, that affects the looming debt ceiling situation. That, too, could be a big major factor for the price of gold and silver as we head into the summer in 2011. And again, right, history doesn't always repeat, but it rhymes. Back in 2011, that was a major driver of what was then some, I believe, all-time highs in the price of gold and silver. Didn't silver did it get to $50 in 2011? That seems not right, but here's my question. Did silver get to $50 an ounce in 2011? Laffy Taffy. Inflation was so transitory. Yeah, right. Remember? Why do we listen to these guys at the Federal Reserve? They totally affect the price of silver and gold. Remember, there would be no inflation, then it was temporary, then it was transitory, and now they roll out their cast of clowns a couple weeks before their next meeting, like, oh, inflation is a big problem. We got to deal with inflation. Well, I mean, why do we even listen to these guys? Remember this, too. Jerome Powell explicitly stated, if my memory serves correctly, back in like 2020, 2021, he was like, oh, we're not going to raise rates till sometime in like mid-2023. That'd be right now. Jerome was wrong about that because he raised rates like a crazy man in 2022. Why do we even listen to this guy? Why? Let me know in the comments section. It hit $48.95. Thank you, sir. It did not hit $50 in 2011. It hit $48.95. Yes, we are going to do a giveaway once we hit 20,000 subscribers. Okay, I'll keep you guys posted on that. I really appreciate Coin Shop Chris for all of his help on many levels with the channel. Friendship and emotional support when needed as well. Thank you, Chris. Exactly, shining bright. What was I gonna? There was something I wanted to hit on. Last time Silver Touch was the Hunt Brothers. Okay, yeah. So it didn't actually hit $50 per ounce in 2011, but $48.95, not too bad. We'll take that, right? We'll take that. All right, let me look here, see what else we need to talk about. We're just going to keep going because I haven't had a coughing attack on you guys. My last live stream, I coughed a lot, and then I was drinking coffee, and people said I was slurping, and they had earbuds in, and they didn't like it, so I'm really trying my best. Zimbabwe! Did you hear about that? They're starting a new gold-backed currency. Big news. Arkansas? I think that's just south of me here in Missouri. They just signed their legal tender legislation making gold and silver legal tender in the state of Arkansas. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, governor, signed it into law. More and more states are doing this. Mississippi, Tupelo, right? We have somebody on here from Tupelo, Mississippi, just eliminated the sales tax on gold and silver. I think it was the 43rd state now that does not have a sales tax on gold and silver. Congratulations, Mississippi. Excuse me. There's like a 100% chance the Fed's going to raise rates. All right, guys. Allergies. I don't know. I get these coughing attacks, and maybe it's in my head. It only happens during the live streams. Like my throat gets dry, and then I start to worry about it, and then I'm going to put this, see if this helps. The cough drop. In theory, a cough drop should help, but we'll see. But I start coughing, and then I get embarrassed, and I'm sorry. Sometimes I slurp, burp. I've even farted a couple times during live streams. So, bear with me. I am a human. I make strange noises. The basement needs a HEPA filter. Yeah. I joke around. I've got a hot water heater down here in a furnace. What the basement maybe needs is a carbon monoxide detector. Maybe that's the problem. Good morning, Paul. Good to see you. Good one. Unicorn fart dust infected his lungs. Ron gets nervous on live shows. Yes, I'm nervous. You know what? People get nervous because they care. Right? Somebody once told me that. It's okay to get nervous. That means you care. I care about you. Yes, you. You. I do. I care about you. I care about our community. I care about our safety, our well-being. I want us all to be safe and maybe even get a little wealthy off gold and silver. I know we don't do it for that, but I do care. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, low blood pressure. I know my stomach used to do it sometimes, and it doesn't happen that often. My stomach would make the loudest growling noises. You talk about embarrassing, we're all human, right? All right. What's the update on the Missouri bill? I'm going to talk to Pat this week. Last I heard, it still needs to be voted on by the Missouri Senate. And there's some wrangling going on. That's about all I know. I'll buy more, no matter the cost. Even me. Yes, you, Daryl. Every one of you guys, man. Boy, this is a long live stream. You guys, do you want me to keep going for another 5 minutes? I'll see if I can do it as long as I don't have a coughing attack or a sweating attack or break out in violent whatever. It only happens in the basement? No, I don't think it has to do with the basement. I think it has to do with talking for like 30 minutes straight. And then I am a coffee addict and a nicotine addict. And I do an e-cigarette. I'll just be honest with you guys. And I think the e-cigarette kind of dries my throat out sometimes. I don't try not to do the e-cigarette on camera because, you guys don't want to see that. Here in the UK, yeah, you guys pay 20%. That is crazy. Ray, can you imagine that, guys? I can't. I live in Missouri, right here, one of the most free states around. But I can't imagine going to my local coin shop and buying, some silver and then paying a 20% tax. That would tick me off. Isn't that the truth, Gonzo? Gonzo says at our age, you can never trust a fart. If you guys, I'm curious. I won't ask for your specific age, but I'm curious how old my audience is. I'll tell you, I'm 53. Tell me, like, are you in your 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, 60s, 70s? And I'd be curious how old we are all. 42, 30s, cool. 60, 46, 43, 55, 51, 50s, 44, Daryl T, 44, Gonzo, 65, Daniel, 60, Mr. Blondie is 50, Blaine is 61, Trapper Bob, Patriot, 60, Eyes Sewn Shut, 33. Hey, Kasper Gubowski, you've got one guy in his 20s. There'll be more. Either that or we'll all get older. Caper, thanks for being here. Late 50s, Shining Brights, 40, Perla Rosa, 60, Bob is 60s, 59, Anarchist, 45, 44, 62, 60, 44, 57, 33, 57. Everybody's welcome. Wow. Thanks, guys. That's really interesting. 57 for Mr. Tim Schmidt. James says, I bought my first junk silver at face value. That's awesome. I love that junk silver. I wish I'd loved it more a couple years ago when I first kind of got interested in it. Throw the silver in the harbor. Okay, how many of us are retirees? All right, if you want to say you're retired, say retired, you lucky dogs. I'm never going to get to retire, so you're the lucky one because I'm going to make videos for the rest of my life. As long as I'm alive, I'm going to put out one video a day. Even if there's something big going on, you guys can always trust on me. I give you my word, at least one video a day, no matter what. Even if it's just, hey, I've had this, I don't want bad thing, but crap's going to happen. It happens in all of our lives. I'm always going to put out a video a day. And a lot of you guys have become friends through the channel. That's awesome. I hope you know I consider you a good friend. Retired, U.S. Marine Corps, retired military, North Carolina, Army, retired. That's awesome. You guys, good job, man. Good for you. Retired 2 months, Blaine. Semi-retired. Ring the bell. Hey, she won't bring coffee, but I'll ring the bell. Retired. There's no such thing. Captain Ron. That's what they used to call me in college. I did, if you ever get really bored, you can Google. I was a Division I athlete. I went to college on an athletic scholarship, soccer at DePaul University. Nobody cares. I understand. Nobody cares. I care, but nobody cares. I mean, I'm 53 years old. I need to get over it, right? 40. I like turtles. Well, that's cool. And he's retired. Let's see what else we need to talk about here. I'm still devastated. I don't know what I'm going to do, guys. I just don't know what I'm going to do because Bed Bath & Beyond went bankrupt. And I just loved, once a week, I would go to Bed Bath & Beyond. I loved to go there and look at all the different towels and different little things I could do with my kitchen. I don't know what I'm going to do now that Bed Bath & Beyond's not open. I was just kidding. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Especially Beyond. Oh, I was talking to Coin Shop Chris last night, and he mentioned he's not happy, and I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but he's not happy with the U.S. Mint because he's like, why the heck can all these others, he went on a little rant, and I'll do it for him here. Why can all these other sovereign mints produce all these coins? The Australian mint, the UK mint, right? All of them are having, there's decent supply of those coins out there. Why can't the U.S. Mint make these coins? And he had a theory, and we'll get into that in my next interview that I have with him. But isn't it a little strange that the biggest, most powerful country in the world with this big mint that is supposedly required by law to provide the people with silver and gold coins can't keep up, but other countries can. Go to Walmart. U.S. Mint hoarding. That's kind of what Chris was saying, or that he has an interesting theory on what might be going on. But I'm going to let him explain that in the next interview that I do with him. The law says they should be meeting demand. Right. That's what I'm saying, James. That's what I understand it. Like, hey guys, you are required by law to meet demand. Hey, if you're on and you haven't given me a thumbs up, would you please consider giving a thumbs up? What else was I supposed to tell you guys? Or if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. I'll never contact you via WhatsApp or anything like that. If you want to communicate with me, my email address, rodsbasementsilver@gmail.com, is in the description of all the videos. Yeah, we need someone to sue the U.S. Mint. Good point. You know, I was thinking this the other day. These darn states that have charged sales tax on gold and silver, how can... Ooh, that cough drop just hit me. How can you charge sales tax on gold and silver? It doesn't make any sense. It is money. You don't charge tax on money. You know, I got a buddy who's won some big, major class action lawsuits over the years. Big. Okay. And I thought I was going to ask him, like, can we do a class action lawsuit against all these states that collected sales tax on gold and silver? Because isn't that illegal in the Constitution? And, you know, anyway. Hello, Gerald. Good to see you, my friend. Let me make sure I'm caught up with comments. All right, guys. Wow, we've gone a long time. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'll see you next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Okay? Take care of yourself. Be good to yourself. You are important. You're always welcome in the basement. And I will see you soon.